What's up guys, and welcome back to Soft Launcher Solutions, and today we're talking about Call of Duty Warzone Squid Game Edition, the update for Squid Games. And it's pretty cool. It's actually gets you on your toes, especially when it's red light, green light, and it's especially hectic when it's red light, green light, and you like have to stand dead still, and there's literally an enemy like standing looking right at you. And it's about that who has that first reaction as it says green light, and it's so much fun. I'm not gonna lie, this is something that they brought into the game that's actually decent and it's actually fun. But yet again, as always, when Call of Duty does updates, they intend to break the fucking game, and then people are running into like FPS problems, game not functioning, or all that kind of bullshit. You guys know that Call of Duty has this kind of things where they just intend to fuck their game in general, and that's just what they do. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, you're here for an FPS boost guide. I'm going to show you the best settings you can use right now for the Squid Game update, and I'm going to go over everything that you need to know that's very, very important for you to need to go ahead and change at this very moment. All right, ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, we are in the display tab right now, and it doesn't matter what machine you are running. You can run a low-end, medium-end to a high-end machine to launching nukes with your physical fucking machine. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't. You just need to have the correct settings inside you, and I can promise you that your gameplay will be much, much smoother and overall have a smoother gameplay experience. Now, a lot of people have been questioning about this thing called packet burst, and I actually found out how to fix that for some cases. This might not help everyone, but I'm going to try and see if I can help the people out there that has packet burst and is experiencing this issue. All right. So as you can see, we're on the display tab, and I highly recommend running this game in full screen exclusive if you have one screen, one dedicated screen like a laptop screen or a monitor or a gaming monitor or whatever the case might be. If you have multiple monitors, go with full screen borderless. I highly recommend this. You can also get away with running this game at full screen exclusive by having multiple screens. Now, if you see any latency issues and stuff like that, then switch back to full screen borderless. That's how I run my game. I run multiple screens. I have 3 of them. So I play my game at full screen borderless. Now, there is also a full screen extended window. I don't really recommend this, but you can go ahead and try it. Then, for the people out there that's running really low-end graphics cards or low-end machines in general, go with windowed mode over here, and you can actually just decrease the VRAM usage of your GPU. As you can see, it's increasing when I'm over here, and it decreases when I hit this. So this is for low-end machines. You go over here and use this. I highly recommend just playing around with this and find your sweet spot for your specific machine. All right, let's go to the next step. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so the next step is the aspect ratio, and this is how I play my game. I play my game at 16:9, and I've always been playing my game at 16:9. It's a sweet spot for first-person shooting gameplay, and I just highly recommend playing your game like this in general if you are a person that plays first-person shooting games. Now, obviously, Call of Duty is a first-person shooting game, so have this at 16:9, and I just overall recommend this one over here. If you don't know what screen you have, like maybe you have an ultra-wide gaming screen or whatever the case might be, you could just go to automatic, and Call of Duty will automatically pick up the screen that you are running and apply it to the rig that you are using. But I suggest for most of the people out there, like literally like 90% of the gaming community uses 16:9. But it's your own personal preference, ladies and gentlemen. I can't force you to use this. Just go ahead and try it out and see which one works the best for you. All right, I'm going to select it and have it over there. We're going to have this over here where it says restart shader preloading. We're going to come back to this, ladies and gentlemen, because you're going to need to come back to this after changing everything in the game, and then come and click on this so your settings can apply to your game. Because a lot of people change settings, but they never restart their game and restart their shaders for those settings to apply that I'm about to show you. Right, display gamma, I have mine at 2.4. It actually gives the game a little bit more digital vibrance, especially if you're on a gaming screen and stuff like that. You can try this out on a normal monitor, but if you're on a normal monitor, just go with 2.2. If you're on a laptop display, go with 2.2. You should be good to go, right? Then the gamma and brightness is your own personal preference, but I do recommend changing this from its default to about 60, 65, or even up all the way to 70. Please go ahead and do that. There is very dark spots in this game. All right. Now, video reflex low latency plays a very, 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 very big role on this game itself, especially with the new update and stuff like that. It plays a very big role on the game itself. Now, as you can see on the right hand side, it literally tells you, it spoon feeds you over here on what this does. Now, if you're quite new to computers and stuff like that, or you don't know what's going on here, then literally, if you are CPU bound, you're going to put this on plus boost, right? That means you are CPU bound, meaning you have a really good GPU, but you have a lower end CPU. Then when you have a really high end CPU and a low end GPU, you go on. Right? Now, what I recommend is you go ahead and leave this as is that Call of Duty suggests for you. Mine was on apparently. I'm running a 14700K with a 360mm rad water cooling block on it. And then I have a 4070 Super that's overclocked. And it's just recommended on for me in general. Okay, so what I recommend you do is if you come into this game and yours is on, leave it on. If yours is on plus boost, leave it on plus boost. If yours is on off, which I highly doubt, just please go ahead and put it on, test it, or put it on plus boost and test it. All right, just know your machine basically. All right, eco mode preset, leave this at custom. VSync gameplay, if you want to cap the refresh rate of your FPS basically while playing your game. Let's say you have a 60 hertz monitor. That's where it starts, okay? 60 hertz, right? If you put this at 100%, please don't choose anything else, 100%, and it will cap it to the refresh rate of your, or the hertz of your screen. So let's say 60, you've got a 60 hertz monitor. You'll only do 60 FPS constantly in the gameplay, but it will be smooth. That's the nice thing about it. If you are getting stuttering or your game is running like dog shit and stuff like that, put this at 100%. If you have a 120 hertz monitor, it will do 120 FPS. Now, the higher hertz you have as a screen, that is the amount of FPS you'll be doing and that you'll reach. Okay, let's say you have a 500 hertz monitor. Okay, obviously you might not reach 500 FPS. Then I wouldn't recommend turning this on. If you have a 240 hertz monitor and you're not reaching 240 FPS, then don't turn this on. Okay, so if you're reaching a bunch of FPS, like you're running 400 FPS in this game or whatever the case might be, I do recommend then rather turning this off. That's just how I play my game. I turn it off, and then obviously your menu, I mean, you can cap your menus if you want to 100%, then it will cap it to the hertz of the refresh rate of your monitor. But I don't do this. I don't do this at all. I've never done it with any Call of Duty season, with any Call of Duty that's ever came out. I leave both of these off. All right. Custom frame rate limit, I have mine at unlimited. Then yet again, you can go to custom at your own personal preference and then have this at what you want your game to be at. So let's say you want your game to be stable and you play your game and you're getting about, let's make an example, you're getting about 140 FPS. Just make an example, right? This is an example. 140 FPS. Then what I would recommend is you hit 100 here. So 100 solid, 100, and then you won't dip FPS and you won't get stuttering and stuff like that in your game because you are actually getting 40 FPS more, 140, but now you're capping it to 100. So you're doing 40 FPS more, so your game runs more stable, if you understand what I mean, all right? Then menu custom frame rate limit, you could just put this at your screen's refresh rate and then out of focus at 30%, and you should be good to go, all right? So the more FPS you do here, the more you want to cap it. So let's make an example. You're doing 220 FPS. Then just put this at 200 like this. And then do 200 FPS solid rather than doing FPS that goes all over the place, if you understand what I mean, right? But me personally, what I do is I put this at 300, but I go to unlimited. Then I don't use this, and I do unlimited FPS constantly while playing my game, while being in the menu, while doing whatever I do in the game. I do unlimited FPS constantly. Now, no, ladies and gentlemen, this is not going to like kill your GPU or, you know, burn it out or whatever the case might be. Like people are so worried about their graphics card if they put their stuff on unlimited. No, don't just no, just leave it. If you want to use unlimited, use it like me. I've been using it for years. Just use it like this. All right. Reduce menu render resolution, native. Then your pause game rendering, you're going to have this off. Then you reduce quality when inactive. This is pretty cool if you want your machine to, I don't know, start idling basically when you're not inactive. So you don't move your mouse, you don't move your keyboard. I don't know, you all of a sudden get up and you're still in the game and you want to go do something, or you forget that you're playing the game, or you're in the game and someone comes and knocks on your door or something, like a visitor or something. And now you're like 3 hours in the game, but you're not playing the game. You don't want your machine to use all its resources like the GPU, the CPU, and the RAM and your M.2 and all that. You can put this at like 10 minutes, 5 minutes. It's up to you. I have mine off because when someone walks through my door, I'm obviously just going to close the fucking game. I'm not going to stay in the game or whatever the case might be. But yet again, your own personal preference. Focus mode, just leave this at 0% and you should be good to go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's jump straight into the quality tab. All right, ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, we are in the quality tab right now. And as you can see, I have mine at custom. Now, if you've never customized your settings inside this game, you won't have a custom preset because you've never made a custom setting inside this game. You will have your minimum, basic, balance, ultra, extreme. That's what you'll have. You won't have reset to recommend it because you never customized anything, and you won't have custom. Now, customizing your things is the better way of doing things, and I highly recommend you go ahead and change the settings inside here to the custom settings for your specific rig. Now, I run my game at 4K. That's how I play Call of Duty Warzone, and my game runs perfectly fine at 4K. I could drop it down to like 1440p or 1080p, and I'll do way more FPS. But for me, I do solid FPS over 100. I mean, like over 120 while playing at 4K resolution, and the game runs really, really well. This is for high-end, obviously, parts. So if you have high-end parts, then you can go ahead and put this to 4K and see how your game looks. It looks really crisp, really clear, and then use Fidelity FX Cache. And this is the best one you can use when you're running it at 4K. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to drop this down and you want to get more FPS out of your game, I highly recommend using this one over here. It's AMD FSR 3. Go ahead and select this, and then that will override itself to AMD FSR 3, and you can come over here and then put this at whatever you prefer your machine can run. So I would say quality, so your game looks really, really good while doing really, really good FPS. All right. Then you get AMD FSR 3 frame generation. Now, frame generation isn't really a thing that you should be putting on if you're playing a multiplayer game. Single player games, yeah, you can go ahead and turn this on, but multiplayer games, you shouldn't be using this. But let's just make an example. If you turn this on and you get more FPS and your game runs way better, it feels more stable and stuff like that, by turning this on, then leave it on. I've seen scenarios where people turn this on and their game runs way better because they're doing a lot of FPS already. Now they put this on and they do extra FPS. Yes, I know it's AI created frames. I know it is. So it's a frame, then an AI created frame, then a frame, then an AI created frame. So an actual frame, then AI created, then an actual frame. Yeah, I get it. I get what this does. Don't get me wrong. But if you want to go ahead and try this out, go ahead and do so. Everyone has their own personal preference. Not everyone has the exact same machine. Not everyone runs the best components and computers and stuff like that. So play around with this, right? But I do suggest turning it off rather than using it, okay? Then yet again, AMD FSR 1 is also another good upscaling in this game for people out there. And it doesn't matter if you're running an NVIDIA card. Just because it says AMD FSR does not mean you need an AMD card. You can run this on NVIDIA and obviously Intel cards as well. You can go ahead and use this. Now, you obviously get a lot of other upscalings inside here. I use Fidelity FX Cache myself, like I said. You get NVIDIA DLSS. A lot of people do prefer this one over here, and then they go with quality, and then 50% over here. That's what I would recommend if you're using NVIDIA DLSS. All right. Then you get obviously like NVIDIA DLAA. It's not a very stable upscaling slash sharpening, and in my opinion, my own opinion, in personal guide, I don't really like it, so I don't use it. NVIDIA image scaling is still okay, and this is still okay. And then off, I wouldn't suggest this. You're going to need upscaling in this game in general. But what I would recommend is these two over here, or that one over there, all the way to these four. These are the fours that you want to be using. Try them out and feel which one is the best for you, which one gives you the best performance. These two will give you the best performance overall. This will be your best quality, and this could also be really good quality and really good performance at the same time. Now, like I said, I use Fidelity FX Cache, and I run my game at 4K. Now, NVIDIA DLSS frame generation, yet again, do not use this at all. Just don't use it. If you are an NVIDIA user, don't use it. It's going to make your game run like dog shit, and it's creating fake frames for you, so it makes like your game looks like you have more FPS, but you're actually doing lower FPS in general. So please just go ahead and leave this off, and leave this off over here. Now, this is where I wanted to talk about the packet burst that people are experiencing. Now, I run my game at 80% on the VRAM target scale. This is how I run my game. So not 90. I don't recommend 90. Please don't push this to 90, because you can actually increase your packet loss and your packet burst and stuff like that by increasing it. Okay, so 80 is a sweet spot for me, and it's been a sweet spot for me for a very long time. I don't get packet bursts or anything like that, or stutters in my game and stuff like that, because I don't push this. Leave it at 80. Now, if yours is at 80 and you're still getting packet bursts and stuff like that, start dropping this down. So hit about 60 and press enter and leave it there. You should be good to go. You should start seeing less packet bursts or either no packet bursts at all. But yet again, I'm going to go back to my 80 because that's my sweet spot for my game. Now, this variable rate shading. I don't use this because I don't need it. Not with my machine. If your machine is like I don't know, like in need of this option, then go ahead and use it. Maybe it can help you, or maybe it won't. But in my own personal opinion, I recommend turning this off and leaving it off and just have it off. Okay, now you get your details and textures. I leave mine over here at very low, and then I have my texture filter anisotropic at this very moment. With the Squid Game version, I have this at ultra. This is how I run my game at this very moment. Okay, now if you are running a very low end machine, I would recommend changing this then to normal and having this either at very low, or you can have this at low. Okay, you can go with this. I don't know why I like this very low. I don't know why. It just makes me see the enemies much easier and stuff like that in this game. But I have this like this. I'm running a 4070 Super and a 14700K. And I'm running DDR5 memory at 6000 megahertz. So yeah, I have a really decent machine. And ladies and gentlemen, please, you don't need to put this at high. Look at that VRAM that it starts eating. So you're going to go either to very low, low, or normal, and you should be good to go. This I have at ultra. Always have this at ultra right now at this very moment with the Squid Game version. It makes the game look really good. I can have this at normal. My game will still look perfectly fine, and the FPS won't fluctuate either. It will run perfectly fine. I can actually apply these settings right now and just have them as is, and my settings should still be the same. My FPS should just drop by like maybe like 2, 3, or 4 FPS. That's about it. That's how much it's going to drop, okay, from moving from very low to normal on my machine. Now with a lower end machine, like I said, go to either low then or very low, and then have this at high, and you should be good to go. All right, so I'm going to put mine back over here, and I'm going to put mine at normal over here, and then have mine like this. Depth of field, who in their right mind plays with this? But yet again, you get a lot of people that, yeah, just in general have weird settings that they play with. So this is your own personal preference. Depth of field, I don't play with this. It's a multiplayer game. Why the fuck would I want to use this? All right, detail quality, low, because yet again, why would you want to be looking at grass? You want to be looking at your enemies and shooting them and winning the game, not looking at the grass and be like, oh wow, that grass patch looks really cool. No, just leave this at the fuck at low and leave it at low and done. Then the particle resolution, you don't really need to change this, because when you change this from very low to high, the particle resolution of explosions and stuff like that is not going to increase in its visuals that much. It does not, so leave it at very low. Bullet impacts, you can leave this on, and then your effects, leave it off, because while the effects is off in game settings, the effects are still on while you are playing the game. Right, then the shader quality, I don't have or need to have this at high. I recommend you guys do the same thing. Change it from wherever it is right now to low. Leave it to low. You need to have this here. It just eats VRAM, makes your FPS run way worse, and makes your game run way worse. Leave this at low, and you should be good to go. On-demand texture streaming, minimal. Yes, I know you can't turn this off anymore, and it's been like this for a little while now. Just leave it at minimal and have it over here. Don't have this option like this. Please have it at minimal. All right, then this one over here, your local texture streaming quality, have this at normal for every single GPU and machine out there. No matter what machine you are running, have this at normal. I don't care if you have a graphics card, the equivalent of a toaster, a microwave, I don't care. Leave this at normal. Do not change this to low. Your game's going to start running like dog shit. Please leave this at low. All right, now we come to shadow and lighting. It plays a very big impact on the FPS inside your game and how your game performs. So the shadow quality can go to very low, screen space, shadows off, off, always off, leave it the fuck off and done. Occlusion and screen space lighting, just leave it the fuck off and done. Screen space reflections, off, off, always off, just leave it the fuck off and done. Yet again, you can actually see on the right hand side, it gives you a visual difference on what these two things do. I mean, do you really want to see that red light on the floor right there? Okay, I get the whole thing of like, now I'm like getting to like a joke now, because it's Squid Game, red light, green light. Now there's a red light on the floor there, so it's like a reflection. You don't need to see those. You really don't need to see it. Especially if you are struggling with FPS in this game and you're struggling in general with this game, then turn it the fuck off and leave it the fuck off and done. Static reflection quality, leave this at low. As you can see, there's Optimus Prime. Anyways, he hasn't transformed yet, but leave it at low. When you put this at high, he's not going to transform. Please, for the love of fuck, leave this at low, okay? Then your environment plays a very big role. Yet again, environment plays a very intense role on your GPU. So please go ahead and put this tessellation at off, volumetric quality at low, your physics quality at off. Who in their right mind wants to see the physics? I mean, when you fly and you land and it starts raining or some shit like that, you're not going to stand there and be like, oh my god, this looks so pretty. You're not going to do that. You're definitely going to be playing the game for to win and to shoot people and to actually have fun with the game. Turn this the fuck off. It's just going to eat your VRAM. Turn it the fuck off. Weather grid volumes, yet again, turn it off. You don't need it. And then water quality off. Okay? Turn it the fuck off. Trust me. All and this, wave wetness, water caustics, just off. Just leave it off. Just fucking trust me on this. Leave it off. And then apply these settings from here. Then we're going to come to the view tab. I can't really tell you what to do here, but. So, this is your own personal preference. You can go ahead and change this if you want to. It literally tells you on the right-hand side what this does. I have mine off and I leave it off. Then I have my field of view at 120 so I can actually see more on the left and right-hand side. People have a sweet spot because actually you can decrease in FPS by putting this up way too high if you have a low-end machine, like a budget gaming machine that's low-end. Then I would go with 115 over here. That's the sweet spot apparently for lower-end machines. And you can go ahead and leave it there. You can even try 110. That's your own personal preference. But I leave mine at 120 and I leave it there. I have mine affected over here, default, 90% over here, vehicle default. And then these two play a very big role on the game itself. World motion blur, turn it the fuck off. Why would you want motion blur? I mean, if you are turning around in circles with your mouse, it's going to start blurring. You won't see a person standing over there and he's just going to kill you and you're going to get upset. It's because this option's on over here. Weapon motion blur, who in their right mind wants their weapon to be blurring while they are running or moving in general, turn it the fuck off and done. Then the rest of the things are just your own personal preference and then inverted flash. Please take advantage of this. Instead of your screen going white while getting flashbang, your screen will actually look like that, then rather than looking like this. Especially at nighttime, ladies and gentlemen, your screen will literally kill your eyeballs when a flashbang lands. It literally feels like a flashbang came through your screen, landed on your table, and made you completely blind. So have this on, but yet again, it's your own personal preference. I can't tell you what to do here, okay? Personal preference, ladies and gentlemen. All right, then from here, you're going to come to the interface options and come to telemetry. As you can see here, I have MSI Afterburner running over here, and that's my CPU's temperature and its usage, and my GPU's temperature and its usage, my VRAM usage, my memory usage, and then my FPS. Now, for you, if you don't have this or you don't have like Adrenaline for AMD, just go ahead and come inside here and say all on, and it will tell you what you're doing with your machine up there, right? That's what you can go ahead and do, and you should be good to go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so let's jump into the most important step you're going to need to take is this right here for these settings to apply to your game. And please go ahead and do this. Do not skip out on this. All right, let's jump straight into it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so you're going to come to the display tab over here, and then you're going to click on Restart Shader Preloading. Now, what you're going to do is for these settings to apply to your game that you just changed right now, you're going to click on Restart. Then what you're going to need to do is actually press Escape, press Escape, press Escape, press Escape, press Escape, and then click on Quit to Desktop. Quit to your desktop, and then relaunch your game through either Battle.net or Steam or the Xbox Game Pass or whatever you are playing this through. Just relaunch it, and then it's going to then launch the game. Then at the top left corner over here, it's going to install your shaders. Just click anywhere on your screen, just like a click, just like a one click or two clicks, just like a click on your screen once the game is actually functioning and it's in the game, so your game knows that you are in the game, and it will start installing the shaders for you. Then, ladies and gentlemen, if this worked for you and your game runs way better, make sure to smash the motherfucking like button, leave a comment down below, subscribe to the channel if you're new here, and if this helped you tremendously, it will really mean a lot to me if you become a member on my YouTube channel, or if you would leave a super thanks. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, if you stayed all the way to the end of my video, this is a very big pointer I want to put out, is this right here. If you're experiencing, like for instance, game crashing to the desktop, black screen errors, or DirectX errors, or your game just doesn't want to function at all in the general, this could be Warzone, Black Ops 6, whatever Call of Duty you are playing, I can help you. You can just email me right there. I do charge a service fee. Just bear that in mind. I do charge a service fee. It does take a lot of time and dedication for me to actually sit with you in a Discord and go through your entire machine and find out what the problem is, because it could be a hardware issue, it could be a software issue, it could be Call of Duty itself, it could be a lot of things. I literally sat with my previous client for a few hours figuring out what the hell was going on with this machine, and we actually got it right. Now, I get a lot of clients on a daily. I literally get clients on an hour basis, so bear in mind that when you do send me an email and I reply back to you, try and add me as quick as possible and get everything sorted as quick as possible so I can book you in for service. All right, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Smash the like button, leave a comment down below, subscribe to the channel if you're new here, and as always, just here to help the Call of Duty community as best I can. And peace out.